Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. A swarm of honeybees leaves a woman hospitalized. What one local beekeeper is saying you should do if you spot a hive. Overnight, the U.S. and China announcing a 90-day deal. Tariffs now dropping for the country's largest trade partner. Plus, if you've been waiting to buy a ticket to see your favorite show or book that hotel, a new rule on junk fees may be in your favor.
And I really hope y'all enjoyed the nice weather we had this past weekend, because high pressure is going to be moving over our heads real soon, and that's going to bring back some heat. And we're talking July heat. All that in the weather coming up.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. We're taking a look into your postseason action that features the Goliad Tigers and the UHV Jaguars baseball team. Coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday. We're midway through this month.
Yeah, just about midway. It's the 12th of May. I like to call it 15th. It's around midpoint.
Well, we're also dipping our toes into some hot temperatures that's going to make it feel like July.
Yeah. It's going to literally feel like July later this week, so I hope y'all are going to be staying hydrated. But before that gets here, we are looking at a nice, cool, actually kind of chilly morning, starting out the day at about 53 here in Victoria underneath those clear skies, and also calming winds right now. Dew point, though, 53 degrees off and bringing that humidity to 89%, so just a little bit high, but other areas are actually seeing some lower humidity. Looking at just that, you can see we have some 80% ranges being reported in our southwestern counties, but higher 95 to 100% ranges in our eastern counties. We're talking about y'all in Matagorda and Wharton County, so if y'all see any light fog, I'm thinking light fog this morning. So nothing to really worry about. All that thanks to some very light calming winds, which had only recently calmed down, providing us just a tad bit of mixing, but right now we're starting to see a little bit less of that in our eastern counties. So like I said, just be careful over there. But for everybody, we're all a little bit cool. Low and mid 50s to start out the morning, unless you're along the immediate coast next to that warm Gulf water. But the rest of Texas is following suit with temperatures all across the state right now in the 50s. So if you're sending your kiddos out the door this morning, or if you're about to head out the door for school or any errands, make sure to maybe grab a light jacket. It is a little bit cool right now, but it's going to be a tad hot in the afternoon, and you will surely be taking that jacket off. All those details coming up next.
A harrowing encounter with nature left one woman in the hospital and claimed the life of her dog. On Sunday, Victoria police received a report of a bee attack. First responders arrived to find a woman under attack by a swarm of aggressive honeybees. Professional beekeepers moved to the scene to calm the scene and to secure the area from further danger.
We got underneath and got all the comb out successfully. We got, we're getting them right now. They're over there right now, my partner is, and we're going to get them removed, take them back to our yard, and we're going to get them, a new home. Please call a local beekeeper and handle it the proper way where nobody gets hurt, and just please don't try to handle it yourself.
The woman suffered multiple stings and was rushed to the hospital where she's expected to recover. The dog did not survive the attack. The Seadrift City Council convened a workshop to address the city secretary's resignation and nearly 20 violations reported by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. The violations include faulty monitoring equipment and missing inspection records for water systems. The TCEQ issued a notice in April. City officials say Public Works has fixed some issues and is working on the rest. The coastal community is taking action to upgrade its water supply system following a local disaster declaration issued in January. Victoria County Commissioners meet at 10 this morning. On the agenda, certifying results from the May 3rd election and discussing changes to the Fire Marshal's office and airport fire services, including the reclassification of the County Fire Marshal position and appointing a County Fire Marshal or interim marshal, as well as the transfer of the Aircraft Rescue Firefighter Division to the Victoria Regional Airport. The meeting takes place on the second floor of the courthouse at 115 North Bridge Street. Breaking this morning, the U.S. and China have agreed to temporarily ease tariffs on each other's goods starting on Wednesday. In a joint announcement, both countries say they will lower tariffs by 115 percentage points for a 90-day period. For the U.S., that means reducing a 145% tariff to 30%. During this window, both sides say they'll continue trade negotiations. The deal follows a weekend of talks between officials in Switzerland. Hamas is expected to release the last American hostage, Adan Alexander, as soon as today. Alexander has been in captivity since October 7, 2023. His condition is unclear. The release is part of efforts toward a ceasefire and more humanitarian aid to Gaza. A senior U.S. official will travel to the region to bring Alexander home. President Trump is also set to depart for the Middle East today. Starting today, junk fees are getting a major crackdown. If you're booking a hotel or buying concert tickets, you'll notice some big changes.
This morning, taking the mystery out of the final cost you'll pay for online tickets to live concerts, hotels, and short-term lodging like Airbnbs. Former FTC Chair Lina Khan talked about the rule when it was announced last year.
Whatever price you see is the price that you are paying at the end.
Ticketmaster now including this pop-up when buying tickets, and third-party ticket vendor StubHub showing a breakdown of ticket prices before checkout.
Having that up front, it doesn't feel sneaky, feels just, here's the price, you can make that decision right away.
The new rule does not stop businesses from charging fees, but it bans junk fees by requiring all pricing up front, rather than tacking on extra costs like convenience fees or resort fees when you check out online. The total price also has to be displayed more prominently than any other costs.
Welcome to the Eras Tour!
The high ticket prices charged by Ticketmaster and secondary market sellers for Taylor Swift concerts sparked a big push for Minnesota to pass its own law earlier this year banning junk fees. Across the country, the FTC says there's more work to be done.
This rule is a major step, but the FTC recognizes that bait and switch pricing remains a problem in other industries. There are a lot of complaints about fees in the rental space, for instance, that are not being disclosed properly to consumers.
The Chamber of Commerce has opposed this change, calling it nothing more than an attempt to micromanage businesses' pricing structures. The FTC has said the new rule could save consumers 53 million hours in wasted time searching for the total price of live event tickets or a hotel stay. That's equal to about $11 billion in savings over a decade. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
For the second time since Friday, equipment malfunctions led to several cancellations and delays at Newark International Airport. The FAA imposed a 45-minute ground stop due to a telecommunications problem at the Philadelphia Air Traffic Control Center. Meanwhile, at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport on Sunday, a ground stop was also issued after the FAA reported runway equipment issues. The 3-hour delay caused nearly 600 flight holdups. The City of Victoria City Council, they'll hold a special meeting Tuesday. They're going to consider certifying the results of the May election, and they'll approve or consider approving financing methods for the recently voter-approved venue project. They'll also consider establishing a fund for the venue project. The meeting takes place at 5 Tuesday evening in council chambers. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here at 6:38 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now. Sunrise. Pope Leo XIV delivers his first Sunday blessing with a powerful message for war-torn regions.
President Trump is scheduled to visit the Middle East this week at a pivotal moment. I'm Christiane Cordero in Washington with the details coming up.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say it'll be a little bit hot, especially today, but especially tomorrow. So coming up next, I'll tell you just how hot I think it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday. You look alive in a cool and clear sunrise over Cuero right now. Actually very pretty as well. Lots of colors out there. 53 to start out the day in Cuero. Northern County is actually a little bit cool. I might maybe recommend a jacket. 94% humidity, though. That is bringing us just a tiny bit of very light fog out there this morning. Pretty patchy in nature. So if you see any of that, just be careful if you see that on the roads. It should be pretty light, like I said. But that humidity that we have pretty high right now, that is going to be plummeting today, thanks to westerly winds that will be picking up just a slight bit. It's going to be a very light westerly wind. We're talking humidity values ranging between 15 to 30% this afternoon, so make sure to apply some chapstick and no burning, please. But that humidity will be skyrocketing, not plummeting, going into overnight tonight because southerly winds will return out of the Gulf. And that's going to bring humidity up to about 95 to 100%. And you know what that means. Under light winds, we might have some patchy fog right after dealing with some dry conditions. So please be careful tonight if you see any of that. Otherwise, tomorrow humidity will drop again down to about 40 to 50%, a little bit higher thanks to a gusty 30-mile-an-hour wind coming out of the south. But today, it's going to be a sunny one. In fact, I'm pressing play, I promise, this whole time. You can see real sunny up until about 5, 6, or 7 p.m. We'll start picking up a few passing clouds. And that beaming sun, also combined with the dry conditions, going to bring us a hot one. Today, already at noontime, low 80s, but in the afternoon, I'm thinking low 90s for most of us today. Before overnight tonight, we'll drop our lows down to about the mid and upper 60s. And tomorrow, it's going to be warm. Western and northern counties might hit the hundreds, low 100s, and that'll stay like that for the rest of this week. A bit hot, so stay hydrated. All those details and more coming up next.
The Goliad Tigers area matchup against Hondo was nothing short of entertaining. After losing game 1, the Tigers then took game 2 to force a game 3. 30 minutes later, the fatigue didn't show no signs as they took the winning game. Final score, 13-0. So what's next, you might ask? And it's going to see the Goliad Tigers battle the London Pirates in the state semis. Game 1 will be at Calallen High School on Thursday at 6 p.m. and Game 2 will follow that Friday back at Calallen High School at 7 p.m. Best of luck to the Tigers. And the UHV Jags had a great season, finishing as the 14th team in the NIA. And they will look back, they will be taking on Kessler from Florida in Lawrenceville, Georgia, a part of the opening round in the NAIA World Series. This will be the first time we'll see both of them compete against one another, so there's no set standard on what to expect from both teams. The Jags are still going into the World Series with their heads held up high despite the 2 losses in the Red River Atlantic Conference, so the Jags are still averaging 19.2 runs in their last game. They will be in action on Monday at 2 p.m. at Gwynedd College Grizzlies basketball complex. And that does it for your 25 News Now Sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
The final American hostage in Gaza is expected to be released as soon as today as President Trump travels to the Middle East.
This morning, the last living American hostage in Gaza may be reunited with his family within hours.
My name is Idan Alexander.
The 21-year-old New Jersey native seen here in this Hamas propaganda video from last month was serving in the Israeli military when he was kidnapped during the October 7th attack. Hamas saying in a statement that the release, quote, will be part of the step being taken to achieve a ceasefire, open the crossings, and allow aid and relief to reach our people, end quote. The announcement comes as President Trump is set to travel to the Middle East today with stops in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. It's Trump's last stop in Qatar that's drawing the most attention. Sources say the nation's royal family is gifting the Trump administration a Boeing 747 to use as Air Force One, worth an estimated $400 million. The plane would be transferred to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation shortly before the end of his term in 2029, meaning he could use the plane for personal use after leaving office. Some experts say the move raises ethical and national security concerns.
It raises many, many eyebrows to have this sort of deal at all, to be accepting Air Force One from a foreign government.
Senator Bernie Sanders saying not only is this farcically corrupt, it is blatantly unconstitutional. The Constitution prohibits anyone holding office from accepting a personal gift from a foreign head of state, but sources say Attorney General Pam Bondi has concluded it is legally permissible because the plane is not being given to an individual, but rather to the U.S. Air Force and then eventually to Trump's foundation. Trump defending the gift, saying the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in a very public and transparent transaction. While in the Middle East, Trump is expected to discuss the war in Gaza with Saudi leaders, but a visit to Israel is not on the itinerary. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, is Trump receiving a luxury jet from Qatar a national security concern? All right, let's take a look. 32% of you say yes, and 68% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Pope Leo XIV called for peace in Ukraine and Gaza during his first Sunday blessing at the Vatican. The first American pope addressed a crowd of approximately 100,000, offering a prayer and a blessing. He also acknowledged Mother's Day in several countries, sending his wishes to all mothers, including those in heaven. Graduation season is here, and we're celebrating the class of 2025. Today, we congratulate Janelle from Victoria West High School. Our hearts are overflowing with pride and joy. Your hard work, resilience, and spirit have led you to this beautiful milestone, and we couldn't be prouder. Trust yourself, chase your passions, and never forget how deeply you are loved. Love always, your parents. Congratulations to Douglas from Victoria East High School. Congratulations on completing the most important task in life. Dad and I are super proud of you for sticking through to the end. Way to go, Douglas. You did it. And congratulations to Ethan from Edna High School. Congratulations, Ethan. We love you from the entire family. Submit a photo and a heartfelt message for your grad through June 13th, and we'll feature our area grads on air and on social media. Go to our contest page at crossroadstoday.com, click the entertainment tab, then select contest to submit and show your pride. The time is now 6:47 on our Monday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, 10 weeks and counting. Israel's blockade of Gaza continues. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Brenna. Happy 18th birthday, Brenna. We love you from Daddy, Mommy, Rylan, and Maddox.
Oh, happy birthday, Brenna. And also happy birthday to Jessica. Happy birthday, Mom. Have a blessed day. Love from Juan.
Happy birthday to Tony Hawk. The pro skater turns 58 today.
Wow, 58. Happy birthday, Tony Hawk. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, just head on over to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
The time is now 6:48 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today, or maybe you celebrated over the weekend.
That's right, or over the weekend, happy birthday and happy late Mother's Day. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. Like I was saying earlier, I really hope y'all took advantage of this last weekend's nice weather, because we are about to be cranking up the heat real soon. We're going to take a look at that here in a second, because looking at today's almanac for your Monday, I'm thinking about a high of 91 here in Victoria, which is already a little bit warm if you ask me. A bit hot, actually, if you ask me. 86 is our average this time of year, right where we should be. So we're 5 degrees above that, and a record this time, 94 degrees. Something May 12th, 1964, and 94 is our record for tomorrow, Tuesday, and 95 is our record for Wednesday, to which both of those days we will likely be breaking the record. We'll look at that here in a second, because for today, Monday, all of Texas is going to be a tad bit hot. You can see possibly even the triple digits along the Rio Grande, but if you thought that was hot, let's turn forward to Tuesday, shall we? 111 possible in Del Rio, 109 along the Rio Grande, and our western counties, like I said, tomorrow, Tuesday, could be at about 100, 101, 102. So make sure that we're staying hydrated, please, because it's going to be a little bit of a hot one for mid-July or mid-May, feeling like July. But here's Wednesday, 113 degrees. I can't believe I'm saying that. 113 for mid-May along the Rio Grande. All that thanks to high pressure dome that will be moving over our heads and parking itself over our heads for the next several days. And all that's going to lead me to today's weather poll. Today I ask you, it'll be nearly 100 degrees soon. How do you feel about this early heat wave? It still looks like a majority, 44% are voting. It's too hot and too soon, but 28% are also voting. It's typical South Texas spring, and it also to bring on the sunshine. But thank y'all so much for taking part in today's weather poll. For future weather polls, go to crossroadstoday.com/vote weather to participate, and I'll always read those answers on Sunrise. But high pressure moving over the Gulf, that's going to keep the heat with us all the way into this weekend and all the way into next week. But there is a silver lining to high pressure moving over our heads with the heat. That is going to keep us safe from anything that tries to form right here in the southwestern Caribbean and also eastern Pacific that will likely go into the Pacific between these dates. And we'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
In world news, Israel's blockade of the Gaza Strip nears its 10th week. Palestinian officials and the UN are sharing concerns about the devastating effect on civilians living in the area. The Gaza Ministry of Health reported on Sunday that there are severe shortages of medical supplies. Since early March, Israeli authorities have closed all border crossings into Gaza, preventing trucks from delivering essential items like medical supplies, food, and fuel, bringing the region closer to a state of famine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he's ready to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin this week. Zelensky's willingness follows a call from President Donald Trump, who urged him to accept Putin's proposal for peace talks in Turkey. The talks are scheduled to take place in Istanbul on Thursday. Putin's invitation came after France, Britain, Germany, and Poland issued an ultimatum to Russia, demanding a unconditional 30-day ceasefire by Monday or face severe new sanctions. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A routine drive turns dangerous when a military Humvee falls off an interstate highway wall. Two people suffered injuries when a military vehicle crashed in Washington State over the weekend. The Washington State Patrol reports that a Humvee crashed on I-90 and fell over a wall on Saturday afternoon. The vehicle, which was towing a trailer, dropped 30 feet onto a street. Two people received minor injuries and no other vehicles were involved. Residents of a Dallas neighborhood are pressuring police to take action after two crashes occurred at their townhouse complex. Both incidents were recorded on camera. Investigators attribute the crashes to excessive speed. One crash took place last week while the other occurred back in February. Both vehicles flipped into the air while attempting to navigate a traffic circle. President Trump announced an executive order today that will lower prescription drug prices by 30 to 80%. He said the order will equalize global drug costs, ending the U.S.'s status as the higher-paying country. Other countries will see price hikes to compensate. Trump is set to sign the order at 9 this morning. Google will pay $1.4 billion to the state of Texas in response to suspected privacy violations. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton claims the tech giant secretly monitored users' movements and private searches through its products and services. He also accused Google of tracking voice prints and facial geometry. Texas lawmakers must act on two bills in order to ensure the lottery continues past September, or find a way to make up for the $2 billion for schools that the game provides yearly. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on CrossroadsToday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And let's get a look at a brilliant sun at our sunrise on Port Lavaca with Parker.
That's right, Carolina. We got a very pretty sunrise coming over the coast this morning. Look at all of that Beeman, Texas sun coming over those waters, providing us with a lot of pretty colors. So go out there and see that sunrise. And also get out there and enjoy the cooler weather. We're looking at 59 about right now in Port Lavaca. Humidity is also nice and comfortable, 83%. And that will be plummeting today down to about 20% range. So make sure to be applying some chapstick for today. And make sure don't do any burning as well, because we're also going to be a little bit warm combined with that. 88 for the high today in Port Lavaca, underneath that beaming Texas sun, maybe a few passing clouds developing in the late afternoon time. Same thing for all that in Victoria, but a little bit warmer. I'm thinking 91 today and about a degree warmer than that in Cuero. I'm thinking 92 this afternoon, already low in mid 80s at noontime. But we're going to be only getting hotter for the rest of this week, so I want y'all to pretty please practice these heat safety tips. Make sure to definitely stay hydrated this week. Check in on the elderly and check in on those fur babies as well. But like I said, we're only going to be getting hotter. Tomorrow, mid and upper 90s. Some in the western counties might be in the hundreds. And for the rest of this week, we're going to be looking at highs continuing in the 90s. A bit hot out there, so stay safe and hydrated.
All right, thank y'all for being with us this morning. Join Shauna, Don, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Have a great day. Good America starts in a few seconds.